you know, it's close to a lot of the builds that we have seen, like the build we do not mention. It's not that build at all, though. For those of you who wonder, the build we don't mention, of course, is the defining feature of it is a retarded vulture drop to begin against a Zerg player. For those of you who say, well, you know, it's won games before, it has won games, but the point is that F build is in its true sense, when I define it narrowly with just the vulture drop, when it's expected, it doesn't win games. You know, in the finals against Jaedong, the person who does that build, that bad person, didn't win any games with it when he did it. He won with other builds, not that build. So anyway, Jaedong actually has gotten lurkers. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Jaedong's gotten lurkers. I don't know. I mean, oh wow, and a science facility up really early. So this is kind of very interesting play from both players. Jaedong losing some Scourge, just taking a look inside the base. I don't know if he caught the fact that there's cloak raids. Now he does, I think. So Jaedong has to worry about his overlords a little bit, but Ganzi has to worry about getting some detection up. He does have, one bunker, but there's 4 lurkers coming up. Oh, he could be in big trouble against us. In fact, 5 lurkers. Oh, Ganzi getting a ton of SCVs ripped up here, and Ganzi did not expect this tech switch, I gotta say. I did not expect this to be as effective as it is, but now it does make sense. He doesn't have mines, he doesn't have tanks, and oh, he doesn't have a front door. He does have science vessels, though. Very curious play here, but Ganzi doesn't have anything other than 2 rates to pound away at those lurkers. So while the lurkers can't hit the rates, obviously, oh, Jaedong might even take out the science vessel. No, he doesn't. That was close. That would have been devastating for Ganzi, but Ganzi is going to fight this off barely. Now there's a big retinue of Hydralisks coming up. This is a force that I don't think Ganzi can contend with. Ganzi looks like he was trying to switch back to Medic Marine by the number of Marines that are now coming out. I think that was his overall plan, but I think it might have been a little bit too ambitious, the amount of tech he went for. And wow, now it radiates out, but really, I think he has not enough just stuff on the ground to be able to fight this off. Jaedong all over the natural expansion. Looks like he's going to pick off that command center. There's not enough medic marines. Of course, there's no factory units to be seen, and that's the critical part. There's no factory units. Ganzi needed something. Just something to stop those lurkers. He didn't have mines. I mean, mines could have done it. I don't know why he skimped on mines, instead got cloak rates, which were pretty useless, but I guess the reason why, I mean, it's possibly because he wanted to defend against mutas, but I mean, the turrets could have done that. Anyway, I don't think cloak rates were a good investment. I actually don't think the rates, in fact, were a great investment. Jaedong has made them just completely invalid with this great tech switch into lurkers, and now Jaedong has a firm lead in this game. Ganzi, despite the definitely unconventional build, has not managed to pull it off. Has not managed to do what he did last game, where he induced Jaedong to go for a Hydralisk rush. Well, I guess the main difference was Jaedong's Hydralisk rush last time that failed him. This time Jaedong chose to go lurkers. Very interesting. His Spire was basically just for Scourge, just like if he was playing against a Protoss and got them against Corsairs. And really, that Spire kind of scared Ganzi into getting that useless cloak upgrade. I also really questioned this, getting Overlords this, getting Science Vessels this early in the game for Ganzi without getting tanks with Siege Mode. Now he does have Siege Mode, but I think it's going to be a little bit too late here. Jaedong's the kind of player who's not going to let this kind of advantage slip through his fingers. 3 base against 1. Oh man, the Academy's not even done yet. I think this was basically the ultimate plan for Ganzi, was to keep switching tech until Jaedong's brain fried, much like Flash. I think what happened was Ganzi saw Jaedong, who also has an octo-core, by the way, except it's slightly different from Flash. Flash is the type that that has the Intel brand, very machine-like, whereas Jaedong's brain is actually an iMac. Much more creative, not necessarily as rigorous as Flash's, but there's a new Mac coming out with an octo-core, so Jaedong just as good. And we'll see. Jaedong obviously not phased out at all by Ganzi's strange play there. I really do think, though, that Ganzi was intending to go back to Medic Marine the entire time, but I think it was way too much of a stretch. He got way too much tech in between. And he has to expect Jaedong to just sit back and do nothing to let him get away with getting all that tech. And Jaedong, obviously, is not the kind of player who will do that, who will just be like, okay, well, you can just get the tech for free without me distracting you. So now there's a couple of lurkers in the back. They're just going to harass the mining. Oh man, look at this though. Jaedong even stopping the science vessels from getting over there. So this is actually doing more damage than I thought it would, considering there should be, tanks shelling away at that. But the weakness of this build, among many other weaknesses, is that the lack of a comsat station, because he went for such an early amount of other tech. And, this right now is going to be impossible, I think, at this point to come back from. Jaedong has gotten a Defiler's Mound. He's gotten 4 bases now. There's a couple of Radiates, but, with the Scourge play that Jaedong has shown, I think the Defilers are going to get through, and I think the Lurkers are going to get down, and I don't think there's enough stuff on the ground there for Ganzi to stop this. I mean, look at those Lurkers. Jaedong's gotten a tremendous amount of Lurkers. That's about a dozen or more. And, while Terran players are notorious for pounding away at lots of Lurkers who try to charge them, they're not going to be able to do it under Swarm when there's this many and that few tanks. Just not going to happen. There's an SCV going to see the bad news here. I think you might even spot the other group of lurkers, the other bad news. Actually, no, Jaedong is actually going to run them to the left, I think, to avoid this. Ganzi looking concerned. Maybe he's going to rip off a shirt. That would be kind of scary, but maybe that would scare Jaedong into losing. I don't know. I mean, he's desperate at this point. He can do anything. Ganzi is a... he's got a lot of potential, though. Honestly, he just had the bad luck to face up against a group of Jaedong and Effort. Wow, that's a lot of lurkers protecting that new base. Alright, so that new base is going to be fine against anything right now. Now, there are a growing number of M&M, but I think the damage, is just irreplaceable. Unless Ganzi did some kind of crazy triple drop, like Boxer style, and managed to pick off a lot of stuff, a lot of bases. He's not going to be able to move out. He could try. He's not going to succeed, unfortunately. Jaedong using 8 lurkers to kill 1 SCV. That SCV did not have a good day today. Alright, so Jaedong is going to position his forces just perfectly here. As we saw in the last game, Jaedong, the master of tactical positioning here. Is he going to be able to get the swarms down, though, is the question. If he doesn't get swarms down, he still might lose this battle, even though that's unlikely. There's the Defiler. Jaedong now, as you can see from his first-person view, going to start consuming. He's got 2 Defilers, and Defilers do take a lot of APM. For those of you who are wondering, why, for example, Zerg don't use Queens more in the late game or something like that. Just notice how much APM it takes to do even what he's doing with the current amount of units, and this is Jaedong. So anyway, Jaedong moving up here. Oh man, he's gonna get a lot of units coming in from every direction. Jaedong with a couple of lurkers already under Swarm, and Jaedong right now actually playing perhaps a little bit slower than we're used to seeing. I don't know. That looked a little bit lower than his usual 300 plus effective APM. But anyway, it looks like Jaedong, oh man, getting caught in the middle a bit, but now finally he's gotten the positioning, the grand arc of his plan coming into play. He's going to get some kind of flank out pretty soon. It'd be nice if we could see it, but Ganzi I think is actually doing a decent job of retreating. I gotta say,